Hello friends, I am back with a brand new session of chemistry for you. This time we are going to start a new chapter, that is acids, bases and salts. Okay, now today we will be discussing only the acid part of the chapter, that is the definition of an acid, then classification of the acids, then the method of preparation of various acids, then the chemical properties of an acid and the uses of an acid. Okay, now acid is defined as acid is a substance which when dissolved in water yields hydronium ions as the only positively charged ions in aqueous solution. Okay, I hope you remember what is an hydronium ion, the one which is formed by the formation of a coordinate covalent bond. Yes, very good. In chemical bonding we have done that. So hydronium ion is the one which is a coordinate covalent bond, which is formed by the combination between a water molecule and a hydrogen ion. Okay, so acid is defined as a substance which when dissolved in water yields hydronium ions as the only positively charged ion. Okay, that is the definition of an acid. So the reaction, as you can see here, just have a look here, is this is an acid HCl. In aqueous solution it will form H plus ions and Cl minus ions, and these H plus ions will never remain as hydrogen ions in aqueous solution. They will always combine with water to form hydronium through a coordinate covalent bond. So the combined reaction you can write as HCl plus H2O. This is H2O. Now this H plus and this H plus will get cancelled, similar terms on opposite sides of the reaction, giving hydronium ion plus Cl minus. Okay, so this is your reaction which you are supposed to remember. Now similarly you can write other reactions like HNO3 plus water will give H3O plus nitrate radical. Okay, or sulfuric acid now will give plus 2 water will give 2 hydronium ion plus sulfate ion, similar. Okay, so you have to remember that a hydrogen ion will never exist by itself. It will always combine with water and form a hydronium ion. So in other words you can say that a hydrated hydrogen ion is nothing but a hydronium ion. Hydronium ion is nothing but a hydrated hydrogen ion. Okay, that is what is called as a hydronium ion. Now let us see the classification of the acids. Yes, now first classification is based on the source. Yes, now based on source means whether the acid is obtained from an organic source, that is when it is obtained from plants or animals it is an organic acid, and when it is a mineral acid it is called as an inorganic acid. So organic acids are formic acid, acetic acid, citric acid, tartaric acid, all are organic acids. Example, formic acid is found in the sting of a red ant. Acetic acid is in vinegar, citric acid in all citrus fruits, orange, lemon, tartaric acid is in tamarind. So all these are organic acids. Yes. Then inorganic acids are obtained from mineral sources like hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid are all mineral acids. This is the first type of classification. Now next is based on molecular composition. Now on molecular composition they are classified as hydra acids and oxy acids. Now just let us understand what is a hydra acids. Acids which are containing hydrogen and a non-metallic element other than oxygen. Yes, non-metallic element other than oxygen is a hydra acids. So hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic acid, hydroiodic acid is all derived from halogens. These are all hydra acids. And oxy acids will be acids containing hydrogen or non-metallic element and oxygen. Yes, so three things will be there here, whereas here there are only two, hydrogen and non-metallic element other than oxygen, but this will have hydrogen, any non-metallic element as well as oxygen. So oxy acids are nitric acid, sulfuric acid, phosphoric acid also, H3PO4 also becomes a oxy acid. Clear? Okay. Next is based on the strength. Now I hope you remember this. Strength of an acid depends on what? Yes, very good. The extent of dissociation of an acid in aqueous solution. We have done this in electrolysis. Yes, strong and weak electrolytes. So a strong acid is the one which will undergo complete dissociation in aqueous solution to form a large concentration of hydronium ions. Yes, and a weak acid is the one which undergoes only partial dissociation in aqueous solution to form a low concentration of hydronium ions. Yes, so particles in solution will be what for a strong acid? Only ions. Yes, very good. and for here there will be ions as well as molecules in solution. Okay, so examples of strong acids will be what? Hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, all are strong acids. And weak acids, carbonic acids, then formic acid, acetic acid, all are weak acids. Generally all your organic acids are weak acids. Okay, so this is based on the strength. Then based on the concentration, now this will depend on the amount of the acid present in aqueous solution. Now a concentrated acid, now or you know the meaning of concentrated is which contains larger quantity of that solute. So now here concentrated acid means it will have a larger portion of that acid in water, and dilute acid means it will have less quantity of the acid in water. Yes, means the concentration is generally expressed in terms of what is called as moles per liter. When we discuss the chapter of mole concept, yes, and stoichiometry, that time I'll explain the concept of mole to you. So any acid can be a concentrated or a dilute acid. Means you have concentrated nitric acid also, you have dilute nitric acid also. So that's why I haven't put any examples here. Okay, any acid can be both concentrated as well as dilute. Okay, and last but not the least, but very important, that is based on basicity. Now this is a new term which will introduce, that is basicity of an acid. Now basicity of an acid, it is the number of hydrogen ions which are produced per molecule of the acid in aqueous solution. Yes, that is the definition of basicity. It is the number of hydrogen ions. So here 1, 1, 1, 1. Here there are 2. Here there are 3. Okay. So basicity of an acid is the number of hydrogen ions which are produced per molecule of the acid in aqueous solution. Or there are two definitions, any one you can remember. Or it is the number of hydroxyl ions with which one molecule of that acid reacts. Acid generally has hydrogen ions and base will have the hydroxyl ions. So acid and base will react to form salt and water. So number of hydroxyl ions with which one molecule of that acid will react. Okay. So based on that you have what is called as monobasic acids. Now mono means one. So monobasic acids, they will dissolve in water to form one hydrogen ion per molecule of the acid. Like we saw the earlier one here, HCl is forming H plus Cl. So per molecule of the acid one hydrogen. Per molecule of the acid one hydronium ion is formed. Okay. So that is monobasic acid. So they will dissociate in one step is in aqueous solution. Now these are dibasic. Di means two. So per molecule of the acid you are having two hydrogen ions in aqueous solution. So it dissociates also in two steps. So first you see this sulfuric acid will first give one H plus. So the remaining molecule will form HSO4 1 minus bisulfate, and then bisulfate will ionize to form again one H plus plus sulfate. So when you add the two reactions, you can write H2SO4 will form what? Two hydrogen ions plus sulfate ions. Okay, and this hydrogen you can write in the next step as hydrogen will react with water to give you two hydronium ions. Okay, so this will dissociate in two steps in aqueous solution. Yes, and then third is what is called as the tribasic acids. So as you can see, tri means 3. So per molecule of the acid it will form the 3 hydrogen ions. So again this will dissociate in 3 steps. Every time one H plus ion will be formed. So tribasic acids, phosphoric acid or phosphorus acid, H3PO3, they are all tribasic acids. Okay, clear? So based on basicity, concentration, strength, molecular composition and the source. So 5 different types of classification we have seen. Now what kind of questions you can expect on this part? See, nobody is going to ask you classify the acids. Yes, the questions will be generally define basicity or define monobasic, dibasic and choose the odd one out. So along with a monobasic, maybe a dibasic acid is given. Along with organic acids, inorganic acid is given. Yes, so such questions will be asked. Weak acid and a strong acid. So such kind of questions will be asked. So in the towards the end of the chapter, we will be handling such questions. I will give you choose the odd one out based on this. Okay, so now we will move to the next part. Okay, now we will have a look at the preparation of the acids. Yes, All these reactions you have to write it down. So first is by the reaction of non-metals with hydrogen. So non-metals like chlorine, iodine, etc. will react with hydrogen to form the corresponding acids. So H2 plus Cl2 will give you 2HCl, H2 plus I2 will give 2HI. This is hydrochloric acid, hydroiodic acid. Then second is by dissolving acidic oxides in water. Now acidic oxides, generally non-metals form acidic oxide. Yes. So non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So all these non-metallic oxides, say carbon dioxide, you dissolve in water, you get carbonic acid. Sulfur dioxide, you dissolve in water, you are getting sulfurous acid. Sulfur trioxide, SO3 plus H2O, you are getting sulfuric acid. Phosphorus pentoxide plus water, you are getting phosphoric acid. And nitrogen dioxide plus water, you are getting both nitrous acid as well as nitric acid. Okay, so by dissolving all these acidic oxides in water, you are getting the corresponding acid. Now just here you have to remember this is very important. All these acidic oxides, they are called as a acid anhydride of the corresponding acid. Now what is an anhydride? Just try to understand. Anhydride means without water. So when you are adding water to this anhydride, you are getting the corresponding acid. So we say that carbon dioxide is called as the acid anhydride of carbonic acid. Sulfur dioxide is called as the acid anhydride of sulfurous acid. This sulfur trioxide is the acid anhydride of sulfuric acid. So NO2 is called as the mixed acid anhydride. Why? Because you are getting two acids. Yes, mixed acid anhydride of nitrous and nitric acid. Okay, is it clear? So this you are supposed to remember, because question on this is asked many times, and choose the correct option. Which of the following on dissolving in water will form an acid? So options may be CO2, SO2, SO3 and maybe CO, carbon monoxide. See, carbon monoxide will not dissolve in water to give you any acid. So that you are supposed to remember. Or even NO, nitric oxide, that also doesn't dissolve. So this is important. Then next is by reacting non-volatile acids with salts of more volatile acids, it will displace the volatile acid. Now I wonder if you remember this is long back we have done in hydrogen chloride. Yes, this is the laboratory method for preparation of hydrogen chloride gas. This was quite a few days back we had done this chapter. So NaCl plus H2SO4 concentrated at a temperature less than 200 will give you NaHSO4 plus HCl. Okay, and the second is potassium nitrate plus H2SO4, again concentrated, less than 200 will give KHSO4 plus nitric acid. So we are using non-volatile acid. So sulfuric acid is a non-volatile acid because it has a very high boiling point to the extent of almost 338 degrees Celsius. So when you are reacting the volatile salts, you are getting all these volatile acids. This is lab preparation of nitric acid. We will be discussing when I teach nitric acid. Okay. And next is by the oxidation of non-metals. Non-metals like sulfur, phosphorus will get oxidized by nitric acid. Nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. So you are getting sulfuric acid 2H2O plus 6NO2. This is an important reaction. We will be discussing this in nitric acid again, but give 5 stars to this, very very important. So S plus 6HNO3 will give you H2SO4 plus 2H2O plus 6NO2. Okay, clear? So these are the methods of preparation of acids. Now coming to the properties of acids. Now all acids generally have a sour taste. Yes, they are sour in taste in aqueous solutions, and they are highly corrosive. Mineral acids like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, highly corrosive means you will get blisters if concentrated acid falls on the skin. So you have to be very careful when you are handling it. And this you already know, they turn blue litmus red. Okay, so now we will have a look at the next part. Now coming to the chemical properties of the acid. Now if you remember when we had discussed HCl and ammonia, yes, especially HCl, that time we had discussed certain typical properties of an acid. That is, an acid will react with a base to form salt and water. It will react with active metals to liberate hydrogen. It will react with carbonates and bicarbonates to liberate carbon dioxide gas. Yes, very good. Then sulfides and bisulfides will give what? Yes, very good. Sulfur dioxide gas. Then sulfide, it will liberate hydrogen sulfide gas. So all those are considered as the typical properties of an acid. So again we will be discussing all those properties now is under the chemical properties. So just have a look here, reaction with bases to form salt and water, that is called as a typical neutralization reaction. So CuO plus H2SO4 dilute will give CuSO4 plus H2O. NaOH plus HCl dilute will give NaCl plus H2O. Now you have to remember that all these acids in the dilute form itself, they will exhibit their acidic character. Why? Because when it is dilute, it has traces of water in it, and water is required for the process of dissociation. So a concentrated acid will not exhibit all these typical properties, but dilute acid will. Okay. Then second is reaction with active metals to liberate hydrogen. Now all active metals above hydrogen in the activity series will react with the dilute acids to form corresponding salt with the liberation of hydrogen. So just see here, Mg plus 2HCl, MgCl2 plus H2, Zn plus 2HCl will give ZnCl2 plus H2, Fe plus H2SO4 will give you FeSO4 plus H2. Now here Mg and Mn plus HNO3, 2HNO3, now I have written here very dilute 1%, will give magnesium nitrate and water. And for Mn also 2HNO3 I have written very dilute 1% manganese nitrate and hydrogen. Now this, just try to understand these two reactions. Now nitric acid is a very strong oxidizing agent. Yes, it is a very strong oxidizing agent. So when it reacts with the metals, this H2 which is formed gets oxidized to water. Okay, when you use the normal concentration of nitric acid, which is either 68% or 50%. So if you have to obtain hydrogen, yes, if you have to obtain hydrogen, then this concentration of the nitric acid has to be very dilute, that is only 1%. So only 1% nitric acid will be able to react with Mg and Mn to liberate hydrogen. This is the exception for nitric acid, remember that. Okay, again when we discuss nitric acid, I will be touching upon these factors, but just try to understand this, you have to know it here also. Then next is reaction with carbonates and bicarbonates to liberate carbon dioxide gas. So Na2CO3 plus 2HCl will give you 2NaCl plus H2O plus CO2, gas liberated CO2. Then 2NaHCO3 plus H2SO4 will give you Na2SO4 plus 2H2O plus 2CO2. CaCO3 plus 2HCl will give you CaCl2 plus H2O plus CO2, and calcium bicarbonate plus sulfuric acid, calcium sulfate, 2H2O and 2CO2. Okay, so reaction with carbonates and bicarbonates gives you CO2 gas. Then fourth one is reaction with sulfides and bisulfides will give you sulfur dioxide gas. So CaSO3 plus 2HCl will give you CaCl2 plus H2O plus SO2. Sodium bisulfide plus HCl will give you NaCl plus H2O plus SO2. Okay, clear? Now we will have a look at the next part. Okay, now the next chemical properties, reaction with sulfides to liberate hydrogen sulfide gas. Now what is the typical property of hydrogen sulfide? Yes, very good. It has a rotten egg smell. Yes, so ZnS plus 2HCl will give you ZnCl2 plus H2S. FeS plus H2SO4 will give you FeSO4 plus H2S. Okay, and the next is reaction with nitrates. Now PbNO3 whole twice plus 2HCl will give you PbCl2. This is a white precipitate plus 2HNO3, and PbNO3 whole twice plus H2SO4 will give you PbSO4. This is also a white precipitate plus 2HNO3. Now with respect to lead chloride, you should remember, you can just note down that lead chloride is soluble in hot water but insoluble in cold. So when you have to dissolve it, you have to heat the water. So it is soluble in hot water but insoluble in cold, that is PbCl2. Okay, so all these are the chemical properties of the acids. Now questions, what kind of questions? One is your direct give the balance equation type of questions, and other I have given this in HCl chapter also homework. Name the gas liberated in case of the following. Yes, so such questions will be asked. ZnS reacts with dilute HCl. So which gas? So you have to mention the gas liberated, H2S, or it is CO2 or SO2 or hydrogen. Okay, such questions will be asked. Now the uses of the acids. Boric acid is used as an eye wash. Citric acid is in food preservation. Oxalic acid is ink stain remover. Carbonic acid is used for flavoring drinks. Tartaric acid is used in baking powder. Yes, now baking powder, you have to understand the difference between baking powder and baking soda. Don't get confused. Baking soda is just sodium bicarbonate and baking powder will be both sodium bicarbonate plus tartaric acid, mixture of these two, and sodium bicarbonate, that is NaHCO3 plus tartaric acid together forms baking powder. So that when you add the baking powder to your cake dough or your bread dough, that time the moisture which is present in the dough will cause the reaction between sodium bicarbonate and tartaric acid and release CO2 gas in situ. In situ, you understand, within the preparation itself, right? So that is responsible for making your cake or bread soft, fluffy and tasty. So carbon dioxide will be generated in the reaction itself. Okay, so that is your baking powder. Which acid is used? Tartaric acid. Then for cooking, acetic acid is used, and for pickling of metals, hydrochloric acid. Now what do you understand by pickling of metals? Just understand, pickling of metals, when you clean the surface of the metals just before you want to give some coating on the metal, like before galvanization, when you are carrying out galvanization using zinc on iron. Yes, when you give a coating of zinc on the surface of iron, that process is called as galvanization. So when you clean the surface of iron, that process is called as pickling of metals. Okay, so that is, which acid is used? Hydrochloric acid. Okay, so now just look at the homework questions based on the acid part. All these answers you will get in the PDF which will be shortly uploaded. So define the following: acid, then strong acid, weak acid, basicity of an acid, monobasic acid, dibasic acid, tribasic acid, hydra acids, oxy acid, concentrated acids, dilute acid and neutralization. Okay, so now with that we complete the acid part out of the acid, bases and salts. Okay, so in the next session we will start with the bases, and we'll do an introduction for the indicators and the pH scale also. Okay, so till then, happy studying, stay safe and healthy in the house. Thank you.